Joining me now to talk more about where things stand, Judge Andrew Napolitano, former New Jersey Superior Court judge. Welcome back. All right, as we discussed this yesterday, there's a lot that can still happen, but I want to focus first on the attorneys for President Trump coming out, criticizing the DA Bragg for even bringing this case forward. Todd Blanche calling the indictment boilerplate. His other attorneys saying that it lacks any convincing details. Any truth there?
Good morning, Marni. Always a pleasure to be with you, my friend. Yes, there is truth there. New York has a bizarre and unique system. The indictment need only inform the defendant of the exact statute that the defendant is alleged to have violated. The indictment is then followed with a document called the Statement of Facts, sworn to under oath by the DA himself, which puts the meat on the bones. Now, we were all a little taken aback by this when it came out yesterday. Particularly those of us who are from another state system, the federal system, or New Jersey, in my case, near Illinois, where you are. Indictments have all the meat on the bones, all the nitty gritty of what the government says the defendant did wrong. We didn't get that until the Statement of Facts came out. When the Statement of Facts came out, we saw that the government will allege a very sophisticated, long-standing, highly stylized conspiracy to deny the state of New York tax dollars by fraudulently reporting personal or campaign expenses as if they were business expenses. Now, I rehearsed that. That's the best I can give you in the fewest number of words as to what this is all about.
And I'm trying to dissect it as well. So Bragg doesn't have to prove a crime here either, just that Trump meant to commit a crime or conceal a crime. It's intent, right? The word we talked so much about yesterday.
Well, intent is very important, but the DA has to prove 34 deceptive acts that furthered the scheme. And he has paperwork for each of those 34 acts. They consist of checks that the Trump Organization wrote to the president, checks that the Trump Organization wrote to Michael Cohen, bookkeeping records at the Trump Organization, and bookkeeping records at Mr. Cohen's law firm. He then has to prove, this is where he has to show intent, that the purpose of all of this was either to evade paying New York state income tax by using corporate funds instead of personal funds, or to enhance the campaign by silencing Stormy Daniels and this other lady and this doorman, Dino is his name, before the election day 2016. So those of us who said that Donald Trump has a defense here, and it's that, and I did this yesterday with you, I won't try and imitate the president's voice again, I'm a little hoarse today, was to save his marriage. He was more worried about Melania than Hillary. The DA anticipated that. That is no longer a defense. It doesn't matter for which purpose these checks were written. It's the fact that they were not bona fide corporate expenditures, but were masked as bona fide corporate expenditures, which makes them illegal.
I always like to think, what is the public taking away from this as they watch it, and maybe more specifically the speech last night. And since you know Trump, you guys go back years, I know you were watching it, looking for certain things. The one thing that I picked up on, and I heard some rumbles of this from the public as well, is he mentioned his family members and their support in being there. I was looking for notable faces and names. I saw the My Pillow guy. I saw Roger Stone. I didn't see Melania, and he didn't say anything about her. Did that stand out to you at all?
I'm sorry to say that it did, since I know them and I understand that this whole escapade, whatever you want to call it, is not resting well with her. But I also know that she's a strong woman and she'll overcome this. I'm sure that his non-mention of her was not intended to be a slight, but was actually intended so that the rest of us wouldn't talk about it. But of course, we are talking about it. What I took away from last night, now I'm watching it as me, not as the trial judge, was that he did not shy away from criticizing the judge or the judge's wife, the DA or the DA's wife, the federal special counsel, Jack Smith, or his wife, meaning the former president will toe the line, will go as far as he can possibly go before that gag order comes. I hope the gag order never comes. I happen to think, knowing Donald Trump as I do, he wants the gag order because it shows him as a martyr and a victim for the Constitution. But I also know him that he has very strong opinions and very little self-restraint. And that gag order would add a new dimension to this trial, which his lawyers don't want to have in it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.